Merry meet YouTubers, this is LadyGraveDancer and I am Tuesday's host here on Witches of the Moon. This week's topic was how to get yourself out of a magical slump. Now, I'm sorry it's kind of dark. It's almost 8 o'clock. I'm just now getting to record my video, so I got as many lights on as I possibly could and hopefully it'll be enough. So yes, this week's topic was on how to get yourself out of a magical slump. Now, I want to talk about some of the things that put you into a magical slump, if you will. And this is just personal experience, myself and with friends. And I actually did a video called Simplifying Your Magic, or The Simplicities of Magic, something like that. I can't remember the title, but I will link it in the description box. But I had found that I got so busy with life that I felt like I didn't have the time to do. I get so busy that it got to where I felt like I wasn't giving enough of myself into my magics, which then kind of bummed me out about doing it. Would make me, oh, I can't, do 100. The kids are going to be screaming. Somebody's going to knock on the door, so I'm just not going to do it. And then in time, it got to where it was like, wow, days have passed by and nothing's going on. Not doing anything. And then it would just be kind of like, just the slumpy feeling. To where you're just like, I'm so busy, I don't have time to do any magic. My day starts fairly early. Let's say, okay, let's give you an example yesterday, Monday morning. I got up at 4:45 a.m. and I had to have my mom at work by 5, so I drove her to work. I got back, my husband left for work by 6, he was gone. And then I had to get the kids up and drop my sister off, who she goes to high school up the street, at 7. Get back in time to get my other son to school by 7:30, to be back and get dressed and do whatever cleaning and other things that are required in the morning, to have him at school by 8:45 to get me to work by 9. That was just before 9 o'clock. And then I'll go to work, and my lunch breaks is usually whenever I will do my errands or videos. And then I do all my work at work. I am the manager, so the majority of the paperwork is mine. And then I run a 7-person crew. And then from there I come home and I start doing everything else that I do, along with my meetings, my Etsy shop, just everything. So you get to where it's like, where is there time to practice? Well, that's when I realized that magic doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be elaborate all the time. So that's when I started realizing. One day I was sitting down, I was so bummed, I'm like, what the hell, And I started thinking about things. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm doing magics every day, pretty much all day. For instance, when I leave my house in the morning, I do this thing where I back out of my house and I'm leaving a positive, how can I explain it? Basically, I get to my door and I'll do this, and that's putting a protection over it while I'm gone. I don't have an alarm system. I put a protection over it. It's an automatic thing that you don't even realize you're doing. When my kids are going to have like a test or anything like that, I will pull hair off of me and tie it onto the backpack, for that mommy love, to boost up their confidence, to do whatever it is it needs to do. When I'm cooking, I do intention in the cooking for a for a good meal. When I take my bath, my bubble bath, I meditate. When I'm sweeping, I always am sweeping away the negative energy, sweeping away the day. Where I work at, I work in the hood, there's always drama. And if somebody has left my office and they have that icky feel about them, I will dust it off and throw it out the door. I'm constantly practicing the altars. I tend to my altars every day. Sometimes I can spend more time with them. Sometimes it's very little time. I do know every time I light an incense, which is all the time because I'm a big time incense whore, I am always lighting them. I'm always lighting them. I'm always lighting them with intentions. I have an altar at my office, and the first thing I do when I get into the office is greet my assistant, and then I go straight to my little altar and I light the candle, wishing for a good day. I make sure my salt water is good because I try to change it out every week, and I light an incense, and I have like a whole bunch of different incense at work, just like I do here at home, and just depending on what I want to happen. So I realize I'm practicing constantly, all the time I'm practicing. It's just not so elaborate. So that kind of got me out of the slump when I realized that I do practice, and I should be proud of the little practices I do. Not everything you do has to be a 10-day spell or a giant elaborate ritual. A ritual can be as small as whenever I leave my house in the morning and I do this to protect my house. That is a ritual, you know. It could be spell. I'll put a spell over my house to protect my house. It doesn't always have to be so gigantic. I mean, yes, you do those. When you have time or it's needed, you do those. Spells that last 3, 6, 7, 9 days, 10 days, whatever it takes. But not everything you do has to be that elaborate. And I think realizing that I am a witch that practices constant, that it's actually part of my lifestyle, it didn't make me feel like I was in a slump anymore. Because you don't have to write a spell all the time. It's been, I don't know, probably months since I wrote my own spell. I mean, I've been getting a lot from my grandma, so that kind of helps. But I don't just write spells to write them. When I need something to be done, then I write them. I don't just sit down and say, oh, I'm going to write 10 spells today. It's not like that. So you don't have to do these kind of things all the time. You know, so basically what I'm saying is we get busy and then we feel like maybe we're not giving 100% to our practice, and it makes us feel like we're in a slump. When in reality, I bet if you think about it, and you're lighting candles and you're lighting incense and you're cleaning your house and you're doing all these things, you know, when I tuck my kids in at night, I always hold my hand over them to wish them good dreams. I bet you all of y'all can sit down and think and know that you practice every day. You'll remember something that you realize you practice every day. Even if it comes down to the fact that you went to the park and sit down in the park and conversated with the tree or just felt the energy of the tree. I mean, it doesn't have to be so giant whenever you do it. It's more meaningful when you're not trying to overdo it or force it to happen. You just let it happen. And these little daily things that I do, they just happen because I'm a witch and that's what they do. It's part of me and it's what I do. And that's when I realized I'm not in a slump. It's just nothing going on right now. I practice all the time. I'm busy as hell. Like, busy as hell. I'm lucky if I get 4 hours sleep at night. But I still practice all the time, every day. And that makes me feel so good. And I realize I'm not in a slump. And so I'm willing to bet that if a lot of you think about it, you will realize you're practicing and you shouldn't feel like you're in a slump. Just because it's not as extravagant as some of the videos that you're watching. These videos that we make when we want to share. It doesn't mean that we are doing that all the time. It's just at the time we're sharing. And I know it may seem like we're always doing ginormous spells and ginormous rituals and stuff like that, but it's not the way it is. In reality, you know, we're still human and we still have the human lifestyle that we have to live and things that we have to do, responsibilities. We're mothers, we're fathers, you know, we got stuff to do. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. I bet you just think for a minute. Just think about it for a minute, and I bet you will excuse me. Waters. Yummy. That's strawberry lemon kiwi. I mean, not kiwi. Strawberry lemon cucumber mint water. Yummy. Anyway, sorry, sidetrack. If you think about it, you will realize that you're not in a slump. You practice every day. You do stuff every day, even if it is just sitting there because you don't feel good and maybe you're just laying in the bed and you're thinking about rituals and spells you want to do later. You're still putting your intention into your practice. Even if you're not... My camera turned off. What I was saying is that... The last thing, even if you're in bed and you're not doing anything, but you are thinking about a ritual you want to write later, or a spell you want to write later, or some incense you want to make later, you're still thinking about your practice. You're still putting that intention in your practice. Even though you're not physically doing it, mentally you are still practicing. You're still working it. So you're not in a slump. It's just not as extravagant as you might think that it's going to be. I mean, you're going to have those times when you got a 10-day spell going and you're just like feeding that bad boy and just having a good time with it and watching your spells happen. Your divination, doing your pendulum work, whatever it is that you do, whether it be rituals, whatever is part of your practice, have to be a big giant thing because it's the intention. So if you force it, it's really not as special, in my opinion, as if you just let it flow and let it happen. So I'm going to link the video in the description box to that video that I was talking about that I made on simplifying your magics, or the simplicity of magic. I don't remember what I titled it, but it was something like that because I got in a little more detail on things. So yeah, you may not be in a slump. You may just need to realize that you are practicing, or if you aren't really doing it, maybe try to simplify your magics and it'll get you out of the slump that you might be in. Try it, it might work. Alright guys, I am going to get off here so I can edit this because now it's in 2 parts in my camera because it turned off. So I need to go get it edited and post it. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all at the next one, and as always, blessed be guys. Bye.